Hey everyone, I'm Dustin. I have almost 20 years experience in the e-bike and bike industry, and today I'm going to talk to you about electric bikes with a throttle. Stick around. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you about electric bikes with a throttle, what you need to know, but before I do, hit that subscribe button below, stay in touch with us here at 630. Be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, new products, and of course the giveaways for bikes, e-bikes, and accessories. Hit subscribe. All right, so you're in the market for an electric bike and you see that e-bikes come with throttles. Now, what do you need to know? Now, e-bikes with a throttle in essence can function more or less like a motorcycle. I've got the 630 lineup of e-bikes back here. We currently do all of our e-bikes with a throttle, and there are two variations to a throttle. You can see right here on our e-bikes, we tend to go with a thumb throttle. What that means is you basically just push your thumb on this little throttle and it acts like a gas pedal. You give it a little bit, it goes a little bit. You give it more, it goes more. Literally just like a gas pedal on your car, except your thumb controls it. Now the other option you can have is what we call a twist throttle. Now, sometimes you're gonna see that and you just twist, and it's the same kind of concept. The more you twist, the faster you go. The littler you twist, the less you go. Now, throttles are great. You're seeing more and more e-bikes in America. One little thing to know is actually in Europe, they don't even allow throttles. They only allow the pedal assist. But in America, we allow the throttles. With a throttle, you're only allowed to go up to 20 miles an hour. So what you'll find is for the e-bikes that do have a throttle, if you're riding it on the street, legally, the factory should set the display settings to actually cut the motor when it hits 20 miles an hour with the throttle. Now, there are ways you could bypass that, but again, on the street, legally, you can only go 20 miles an hour. I've seen lots of e-bikes out there that have throttles, and many of them do go over 20 miles an hour. Reason being is some e-bikes can be deemed off-road. Now, if you're taking the e-bike with a throttle off-road, you can in theory go as fast as you want unless the park, it's a national forest or national park. They have their own regulations, but you could take it on private land and buy an e-bike that doesn't have this inhibitor. It's basically just a motorcycle, and you could go 30, 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. There's e-bikes out there now with throttles that are essentially motorcycles, but those are not street legal. The idea of an e-bike with a throttle is to turn it into a bicycle, but still give you the option to use the throttle. I personally love the throttle because it's nice for starting off when you're going on a ride, as opposed to having to struggle through that first crank of the pedals. You can hit the throttle, get the bike going, and then it's a lot easier for you to move the crank. Same with going up hills. You can throttle into the hill and then take over with the pedal assist. So the throttle, has a lot of nice uses. Also, once you get to top speed, you want to give your legs a break, just hit the throttle and you can coast a little bit. So they're very simple to use. Honestly, I think anybody can figure it out. We have some other videos on YouTube showing people using the throttle for the very first time. You can check those out and watch them. The only thing about the throttle is it can provide its own dangers. So if you're looking at an e-bike with a throttle, I think it's important to know that they do provide some level of, or they do increase the level of danger associated with an e-bike. I've seen a couple things happen. One, I've seen people accidentally hit the throttle when they've been trying to stop, or they pull up to a curb and they hit the throttle on accident and they accelerate through it. Or people getting on the bike, they accidentally hit the throttle. So it's important when you have a throttle, please treat it with respect and don't get overconfident. I think a lot of people get overconfident because even the most experienced bicycle or e-bike riders could accidentally hit this and have the bike do something that you don't want it to do. I've had it happen to me before when I've been bringing my leg over the top. You accidentally touch it a little bit and the bike shoots out. So recommendations are, leave the motor on and off when mounting and dismounting. When you're coming into a curb or stopping, just make sure your hands are completely clear of the throttle, or turn the motor off in advance. The other thing you can do is take this down to 0 on your assistance levels, which will cut the throttle but leave the motor on. So it's things like that. We have some other educational videos on our YouTube explaining a little more in depth on how to use a throttle. But if safely used, it is an absolute great feature. In this day and age, it shouldn't cost more money really than an e-bike without a throttle. It's a simple, just extra wire that's going to run down through the bike to the motor and give control up here in addition to the pedal assist. So I would say in America now, it's probably like 60–70% of all e-bikes are coming with a throttle option. So if you have any other additional questions, please comment below or email us, the team at sixthreezero.com. You can also call us 310-982-2877. And if you're in the market for an e-bike, check out our website, sixthreezero.com, and take our proprietary body fit quiz. It only takes a few minutes. You'll answer a few questions about your body and your life, and we'll recommend the perfect e-bike for you. In addition, we have a test ride your e-bike policy for 30 days. If you don't love your e-bike, send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. And before you purchase, join our Facebook Peddlers group and download our app. Great places to talk to other riders and see how other riders are currently using our e-bikes. So you can ask them questions, also hear their testimonials about how they like their 630 e-bikes. Then after you have your e-bike, join our Peddlers group, post photos, make friends, and track your rides on the app, and also compete on the leaderboard for giveaways. It's a ton of fun. So thank you for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride.